What is the pettiest reason you can't date someone? My boss's daughter's ex-BF broke up with her because they had a Dyson and he said he wouldn't be able to keep up with her extravagant lifestyle. This is the most George Costanza thing I've ever heard. I can't do it, Jerry. Today it's a Dyson, but who know what it could be tomorrow. Trips to Monaco. Rolls Royces. I can't do it, Jerry. She had the same name as my mom. She had the same first name and last name as my grandpa. Pop pop? Magnitude. His last name was Pfister. Mr. Pfister, I can't. You called? We've summoned him. Me too? What have we done? Hello. Oh God, they're everywhere. It's goofy stuff like this that keeps me sane. I had a guy break up with me in high school because God told him to. I was like, oh, okay, guess I can't argue with that one. I had the opposite. A guy told me God said him his wife. I was like, cool, but he didn't tell me so. You'd think God would have at least told you about the plan. So rude. She insisted on hanging out at home. She lived with like 6 people, and they always had friends over. I felt like a BF extra on Friends or Seinfeld. Yeah, this is legit. I would have bounced too. She ate pizza with her hands. No, not like you think. She would scoop up the toppings in a messy pile and like an animal, claw them up and eat them, then rip the bread and eat it. We were at a fancy Italian place and I got horrified. Did she walk round in a little circle before sitting down? My wife once told me she couldn't be with someone who wasn't around the same level of intelligence as she. I have no idea how I'm going to keep it a secret that I'm a ducking idiot the rest of our lives. But here's the thing, if she's a ducking idiot and lacks the self-awareness that would lead her to consider she might be a fucking idiot, then she'd find someone of similar intelligence and be content with a fucking idiot such as yourself. So I'd say it worked out. Lol, she's too dumb to realize he's stupid, but he's too stupid to realize she's too dumb to realize he's also dumb. Dumbception. He ate with closed fists around his utensils like a toddler and his face right up to his food like someone was going to steal it. Sounds like an ex-con more than anything else. My friend who I hired right out of jail did this and ate over the sink at hyper speed. Like a raccoon getting caught in a trash can. I once stayed with distant relatives on their farm. I actively tried to race them at meal times and only managed to get halfway through a meal at best by the time they were all done. It was actually incredible. I know someone who was trained by their uncle who was ex-military, having survived Vietnam. They had to eat fast. They, also, had to hide in the woods if he could find them. He would beat them. He just wanted the best for them. War does some ducked up stuff to people. I broke up with a pretty hot girl when I was younger because she didn't swing her arms when she walked. It just looked weird and reminded me of a gorilla. Really stupid reason, I know, but it just looked so stupid and I couldn't overcome it. Nah, I get it, my brother doesn't swing his arms at all. Doesn't help that he's also super tall and skinny, and in marching band, so he's trained to walk super smoothly. So he just glides around like a tall Victorian ghost child, but I don't want to make him self-conscious, so I say nothing. My son is 4 and really starting to run like a real boy. Except without swinging his arms. So I tried let him know his arms should swing when he runs. This turned into a wacky waving inflatable arm man that's also running. This thread is basically plot summaries from Seinfeld. This was my first thought too. Lol, she smelled like soup. She had a large tattoo of a half-zombie girl on her back. When doing her from behind, it'd feel like the tattoo's eyes were on me the whole time and it gave me the creeps. It's one of the very few moments where I felt like I needed to make up an excuse to peace out. It was hard AF, actively trying not to lose my erection when that happened, so no regrets about weaseling my way out. That reminds me of a woman I met at a wedding once. She was a massive fan of Michael Jackson and wanted a full back piece of his face. Her BF dumped her BC. He didn't want to be raw dogging it from behind and making eye contact with the king of pop. Can't blame him, to be honest. I can absolutely imagine hearing a high-pitched hee-hee during each thrust, and thus losing my shit every time. Couldn't do it. Ended things with a guy over various other reasons, but the most annoying was how many times he told me that he'd leave me for Miranda Lambert in a heartbeat. Which okay, I get it, some people have a list of celebrities they'd leave their so over, mostly as a joke. But this was like every day, just randomly said, not related to the conversations we were having at the time, and he meant it. He made sure I understood that if for some godforsaken reason Miranda Lambert walked in through the front door, I was gone. Edit, thanks for all the comments. I was surprised to read that many people didn't know who she was. Guess I was so familiar with her after hearing about her so often during that relationship, haha. Funny because this actually happened. The guy that's married to Miranda Lambert now left his fiancée a while back to date ML. This is so weird. My boyfriend knows that guy Lamau, used to work with him before he was in NYPD. We were just talking about him the other day. He knew he got married to a celebrity, but didn't know who she was until I told him. We deep dived into it and apparently the chick he left for Miranda was like 8 months pregnant. Edited for clarity and shit. He was also cheating on another woman for the lady he knocked up. But he's a bad apple. Yes he was. My BF was telling me when he used to work with him, he had a new chick every week lol. Seems he hasn't changed much. This prompted me to Google this guy to see how hot he must be. Solid 7,5. Is he just really charismatic in person, or something? Live, laugh, love style home decor. Some just go way too far, reddit.com. And this one tiktok.com. Wasn't my pettiness, but a girl I went on a few dates with wouldn't date me because she wanted to be the artistic one in the relationship and she was worried that me being a musician would spoil that for her. Edit, wasn't real deep into it, it was just a couple of dates. I don't feel negatively toward her. She was a nice enough person lol. Also, music isn't my career, more of a passionate hobby. I work in it by day. This made me laugh really hard. Sorry that happened. Lamau, I laughed too. The funny thing is, she had no artistic talent whatsoever, she just wanted to live an artsy, whimsical life. My grandparents were very southern. When I was a kid, I spent the night at their house and heard theme wrestling. I heard my grandpa say my grandma's name, Sarah, but with his accent he said "Ooh, Sayru." I met a girl named Sarah who was also southern. When she introduced herself as Sayru I had to nope out. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies. Rewind to college, me and my friends are out at a bar. My buddy Dave and I are seniors and his sister is a sophomore, and just turned 21 so she's out with us. We are having a good time and look over and his sister is chatting with this guy at the bar. Fast forward an hour or two and they are still talking, except she's basically on his lap and they're making eyes at each other. 1:30, last call, we are getting ready to go and checking to see if she is going home with this guy or coming with us. She's not there. We look around and she's sitting with her girlfriends at a table. We collect her and as we're walking out I ask what happened to the dude. Turned out his name was Dave. I can't go home with a guy with the same name as my brother. Bro got turned down because of his first name. Savage. White spittle gathering at the edge of the mouth. I can forgive or overlook a lot of things, but that's an instant turnoff. Edit, every day is a school day. Apparently this can be a sign of dehydration or linked to another condition I've seen called angular cheilitis. Bro, you're dating people with rabies. No they're not, rabies is a turnoff for them. If they have the same name as either of my brothers or my dad lol, no. Or my best friend's ex's name. We have had our fill of Chris. Edit to add, I said it below but it's getting lost, Christopher or Christopher, doesn't matter. We had a few in our lives spelled with a C around the same time so it's a hard pass on all versions.